Welcome to the Heart of Giving. The Heart of Giving is about nonprofits, and we have all kinds of nonprofits in our community. The one today, right now, is kind of a special thing. It's called Farm Lot 59. You say, what's that? Well, it is a plot of ground that is being put to use in our community in such a valuable way. And we have Sasha Kano, who is the president and the farmer founder. And when I met her today, she said, I'm your farmer. So welcome. We're glad to have you here, Sasha. Now, what do you do, Sasha?
I do it all. I farm, I run the nonprofit, I teach, I'm a mom, I'm a wife.
And you live in which district?
I live in Wrigley, so I'm a 6th district resident, and the farm is in the 7th district.
And what is this farm? Is it animals, or is it food, or is it what?
We have had animals in the past. Currently, we are just producing annual vegetables. We have a small urban orchard. We have honey, we have bees, and we do a lot of very specialty herbs and heirloom varieties, things that are either going to be extinct or things you cannot find in a market or at the farmer's market, even locally.
And what started this?
I saw an opportunity. I saw a need in the city. There was one other farm that was happening that was part of a housing development, and there was no independent farms. A lot of community gardens where people rent plots, but we farm collectively. So we have one master plan, one crop rotation, and we farm together. It's not parceled out into individual
Now, when you say we
squares.
farm together, what does that mean? You have volunteers that help you?
We have staff and volunteers. We've been there 6 years, and about 3 years ago, I was able to hire staff. And by staff, I mean one other part-time person. And we do have volunteers. We have a volunteer program. We have community farming days where people can come and work with us monthly, mostly.
But it's not like a community garden where they have a plot that they garden, and next to them is another person that gardens there. This is really a farm,
Yes, ma'am.
and you with lots of things, and you sell the produce.
Yes, ma'am. We sell to local restaurants to cover operational costs. We also have an on-site retail farm stand that was open for a few years, and it was closed for a few years, and the goal is to reopen in spring. But there's some needs with the structure to be able to open again. So,
Like, tell me what you grow.
we grow a lot of leafy greens right now because it's winter. Yesterday we picked red frills mustard, and my family lives in Hawaii, so I bring home seeds from Hawaii. There's a 100-year-old seed company in Honolulu I purchased from. So a lot of Asian vegetables and rare varieties. We grow a tropical cotton that the mother plant was given to me a decade ago from the former farmer at the Veterans Hospital. And it's one of the most talked about and nostalgic crops that we grow. People see the cotton growing on the tree, and it's an endangered variety too. So
wow.
we save the seed and we grow them and give them away and plant them in our school gardens.
It sounds fascinating.
There's a lot to it. It's a small parcel, but there's
Now,
a lot.
How large is the parcel?
A little more than half an acre, so just about half an acre.
Now, is this a learning experience, or is this for just producing produce?
It's all of that. So I do not have a farming background. I'm a total internet farmer. My previous life was a floral designer and film production, art department. So everything I know, I've just engrossed in it and learned it.
Why?
And
Why?
I don't know. I like a challenge because it's a little bit of everything. It's production work, and it's construction, it's nature, it's earth, it's plants, it's amazing food. And I think that Long Beach should have a farm that should have a connection to its agriculture roots. And the people that come to our farm, is an open space for them. We have Conservation Corps that comes that live in a highly impacted area. Most of them don't have anywhere to work in a space where they can hear birds chirping and breathe fresh air, and working in the herb beds. It just smells wonderful, something they've never experienced.
And you experienced it for the first time years ago and decided you wanted more of it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's wonderful.
Thank
well,
you.
how do you, it seemed that you mentioned to me you also teach a class or teach children or
We do. We have an education, we call it our outdoor education station, and we have seating where we can sit under a covered area. And then last year during Giving Tuesday and our end of year campaign, we raised funds to build a outdoor classroom. So the farm is a working farm, and we need that to stay in production, but we built a raised bed, fenced in area for the children or the adults or anyone to come and explore, and it doesn't destroy our production. So this year we're raising funds to actually bring it to life. So we needed irrigation and signage and seed money literally for it, and that is our hands-on experience. And we teach in there, and we teach what the public wants to know: irrigation, seed starting, propagation. We teach homeschool and Waldorf, and hopefully with this new board member that I've acquired, he's a retired LA Unified teacher, so he wants to involve Long Beach Unified into our programs.
And how do you feel successful?
I do. I feel like we have really made our mark at this point. It was hard, and in the beginning it was an abandoned lot and an illegal dump, and
Oh
it's
my.
part of the Willow Springs Gulch, and if you know the history of that, it's an active oil field still, and people thought I was out of my mind. They didn't see the vision. They didn't know why I would want to work so hard, and I had a baby, and it was all intentional to do all these things. And now that it's thriving, and we have hundreds of people that come through there every year and immerse themselves in the farm, I do believe it's successful.
That's wonderful.
But would I
That's-
do it again from scratch? No, ma'am.
Well, I mean, just starting a farm in a city,
It's
talking
very
about
difficult.
irrigation, talking about all of the things that would have to comply with, the things that are just the farm needs that people don't ask for.
There's a lot of challenges with it. Because we're not rural, we don't have a neighbor with the knowledge and the tools to come and help. You don't have a supply store in town, and you get stuck ordering everything or are making do with what you have. And I've had to get creative in a lot of ways, but I've made it work for sure.
And when you talked about leafy vegetables or leafy vegetables that you're growing now because it's winter, do you have seasonal so you know what to plant, when to plant it?
Yes, ma'am. We grow, right now we've got, well, I consider we have 2 seasons here. It's summer and not summer. It's always hot and sometimes not as hot. So our crops don't change that much. We always have salad and herbs, specialty herbs, and a lot of edible flowers and microgreens, tiny little things that get put on plates. And then we go into summer, which is tomatoes and eggplant and peppers.
And who are your customers?
We sell to Michael's Restaurant Group. So Michael's on Naples and Chianina and Working Class Kitchen have been my longest supporters. I appreciate them. And we recently took on Taste Kitchen down at the shore and a couple other restaurant partners. Ponza, Row, Seafood. I love my chef partners, and we plant to their request. So we plan crops now for what we're going to grow for them in spring.
And what about the people that live across the street? Do they want to buy things too?
Well, I don't have any neighbors because we're in industrial.
Well, what I meant, just regular people that live in that area.
I would love to open the retail store again, and that's where the public is able to come and purchase.
So now it's just mainly for restaurants.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is to sell to the public. I just found a really consistent rhythm with restaurants. They order every week, they pay retail, and they pay on invoice. So it's not much guessing to it. The problem I had with the retail store was there's no electricity. So I wasn't able to put anything in refrigeration, and it just had some challenges, but hopefully we'll overcome them and be open in the spring.
Well, the volunteers that help you, where do you find them?
Right now we have Conservation Corps that's been coming, and it's great. We are unintentionally a staff of women, all women, and the Conservation Corps that has come is also all women. So I have all women farmers right now, and we have volunteers from the Long Beach Grocery Cooperative too, which was a natural partnership for us to have.
Well, you really raised something in what starting from not really being from a farm or having an understanding of a farm, to utilize your talents for something like this. And as you say, knowing what you had to go through, you must be insistent on making sure that it's going to work, even though you look back and think, why did I do that? How did I do that?
How?
So, yeah,
How?
yeah.
Just driven and focused, I think. And we all want a beautiful dinner. We do it for the food.
Oh, well, I love this. This has been an education for me. Tell me exactly where you're located.
2714 California Avenue, off California, between Spring and Willow, just north.
Just a minute, between Spring and Willow.
Off
Okay.
California, north of Sunnyside Cemetery. In the
okay.
Gulch.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty close in.
It's very close.
Yeah, absolutely.
Central.
Well, thank you very much,
Thanks
Sasha.
for having me.
This is a new experience to talk about getting a farm and what the needs are to farms. So, and congratulations to you. I hope it grows, because
Thank
it sounds
you.
like there are a lot of people that would want to have some of the same things that some of these fancy restaurants have.
Absolutely. And
very good.
the education, the outdoor classroom is really our advancement.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're here to hear more about nonprofits in the city of Long Beach. I hope you really learn about our city, as well as the wonderful things that are happening for our citizens by volunteers, by people that are giving of their time. And the next group, Pathways to Independence, that says a lot. And I'm glad that we have two women here, Goretti Ramos. She is the executive director, and Lisa Mays, who is the fund developer from this organization. Now, you might not know what they do, but you're going to find out. So we're going to turn to you. I'm so glad that you're here, Goretti. Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay, very good. All right. Tell us, what is Pathway to Independence?
Pathways to Independence is a scholarship program that helps young women get their education. So we serve young women ages 18 to 35 approximately, and we really support them through, a lot of them get bachelor's, but really any education goal that they have.
And so it's for 18-year-olds,
Yes,
and it is for women,
yes it is.
and it's for women that from high school or from junior college, community college, or tell us about why you started it, or why it was started to begin with.
It was really started to help young people, young women who are transitioning out of high school and into their college path. So when they started, it was really started by educators who saw their high school students, once they finished high school, struggling to continue their education past that.
I see. And is that where you get your references from the teachers that they have in high school, or how do you find the women that are the needy ones?
That are in the program. So the women that we serve, they are coming mostly through word of mouth. So it has been clients who have successfully gone through the program. They know somebody who's struggling, they refer them. We also get referrals from professionals in the community that are aware of our services. So we have gotten referrals from therapists, from medical providers, from college teachers. So anybody who has heard of our program, when they meet a client they feel would really fit the criteria, they send them our way.
And Lisa, when you talk to people about the program, what do you tell them about the needs that you see that people would be donating to make sure that the needs are fulfilled for this student?
Beverly, our program is amazing. Young women come into our program and they mostly have had some significant abuse in their lives, and they want to change their life through education. So the dollars that are raised go towards their college education, their books, a stipend for rent, medical, dental, orthodontia, a car. We're essentially like a good parent, and that's what I tell our donors, that these funds, and we're run by our board. So there's only there's 2 part-time employees, and Goretti is a full-time employee, and we're fiscally sound. So
That's
it's
wonderful.
important.
Tell us about some of the people that have gone through.
Some of our clients that have successfully gone through the program. Well, there is a lot of our graduates I think we have an 80% graduation rate. So when somebody comes into the program, the chances that they're gonna succeed is.
Do you keep with them as they go through the years?
They're with us from anywhere from 2 to about 5 years. So they're with us for quite a bit of time.
So you check up on them?
They are part of the program, and then after they graduate, we do keep in touch to some degree, check in, see how they're doing. Our alumni are actually a big part of the program.
Are they mentors?
They are mentors. They are also part of our board. So they sit in our board, they mentor, they take up positions, coordinating positions within the program. So there's a lot of kind of them wanting to give back to the program that gave to them.
We have one particular young woman that came from the Midwest, and she only knew one person in Long Beach, and she had a young child at the time, and her husband was incarcerated. And so she packed up her car and came to Long Beach, went to Long Beach City College, and somebody had told her about Pathways. And she was in our program for 4 years, graduated. And Dave Bishop, who started...
So you financially helped her for 4 years?
Yes. Went on to, I believe, Long Beach State, and then she went to law school. And she is an attorney in Orange County.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And her son, I believe, is 18 now. And
That's amazing. So it's interesting to me. I don't know how you really find them. Tell me about the people that are the finders for these young women.
well, really, it is word of mouth. You know,
Okay.
it's
How long has it been in existence?
25 years.
this is our 25th
No.
anniversary.
Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then you would have people that know about it.
Yes.
I didn't realize it had been so long. Well, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So about 67% of our clients are from alcoholic families. 42% have experienced some type of incest. There's a lot of trauma that goes on, and We sort of grew organically. Dave Bishop and Joyce Bishop started this program in 1991 out of a need for students. He was a principal at Laurel Continuation High School in Los Alamitos. And one of his students, Monica, lived with her aunt, and she had a 2-year-old. And the aunt moved when she was 18, and that was her only family. And so they loved Dave, the students, and they would come back and tell him how they were doing, after they graduated. And little by little, she had started college, she had childcare, she had health insurance, that kind of stuff. And little by little, her car broke down. So Dave brought her into the office and said, I want to look at your finances and see how I can help you. And when he realized she was working 2 jobs and trying to juggle all
Go to
this,
school
she
and
was
have a
never going
2-year-old.
to make any
Yeah.
headway unless she went to school. So Joyce and Dave supported her through a 1-year banking program, and she was off and on her way.
That was the first Pathways.
Yes, that was the very first.
Did it have a name at the time?
I think so. I
Is
did.
that
It did
right?
have Pathways.
And
yes.
how did you become involved?
I learned about Pathways when they were searching for an executive director. I had heard about the program. I come from a background of domestic violence, so I had heard through the shelters that I've worked with about a program named Pathways. I didn't know much about it. I started to research the program, and I was very impressed with the system that is set up. The program is run by wonderful volunteers almost entirely. So it's really, for me, what I loved about Pathways was that it's a community coming together.
So if the volunteers, the work for the volunteers is actually with the participants.
Yes, it is.
I see.
Yes, it is. So each participant gets supported through 2 to about 5 years of their education, and they each have a very extensive team of supporters.
Yeah.
Each client has approximately 12 volunteers that look out for this particular client's needs. And it's in different areas. One volunteer takes care of the transportation in the car.
How do you keep up with them? Do they check in with you, or do they come to you when they're in need, or does one of their mentors?
There is a lot of accountability built into the program, and the mentors are the main point of contact for our clients. So when a client is having some difficulties, they will call their mentor. On top of calling their mentor when they're kind of struggling, they are required to check in every week. So every week they're talking to their mentor, they're letting them know how their week went. A big component of our program too is, because of the trauma they've experienced, the therapy. So they're also required to attend weekly therapy sessions.
So that's a contact that you see all the time then, where you
Exactly.
see them.
Yeah.
So that's once a month?
The therapy is once a week.
Once a week?
And
Once a
maybe
week.
even more.
Yeah, depending on the need of the clients. So there is a constant.
Great deal of help.
Yes.
And all those providers, Beverly, are they're volunteers. They're giving of their community. They're
Like
therapists, doctors,
How m-
dentists,
how many-
orthodontists.
So a volunteer could be somebody that just sees them when there's a need.
Yes.
I mean, they're not people that see them every week or every month.
Well,
even.
the therapists.
Exactly. Yeah, depending on the position of the volunteer. Our team is about 300 volunteers who serve our 50 clients. So we have 50 clients, and as I mentioned, there's about a team of 12 people behind each client, and that includes the therapist volunteer, the medical person who takes care of their health, the doctor, the dentist.
So someone that's helping them in therapy the therapist might also be seeing others too. I
Yes.
mean, just not that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get involved?
Well, Joyce and Dave were trying to raise funds back in 1994, and they were not as successful as they'd hoped. And my cousin and a few friends in Park Estates put together the first fundraiser, and that was 21 years ago.
Oh my.
And we raised $38,000 that first year.
Oh my.
And this last year we raised almost we raised $600,000.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
is that right?
And it's actually, there's about 90 Friends of Pathways, young, women in the community that come together for about 6 or 7 months to put together this annual fundraiser. And it provides more than half of our operating budget for Pathways to Independence. So it's very, very important. And the Long Beach community has really supported us.
I love the Long Beach community.
I do too.
I think the work that it does in helping and in just doing this program, I've got so many people that have volunteered and told me about the number of volunteers they have, and I think any need is being addressed, and this certainly sounds like. Do you have any number of people that you've been, whose lives you've touched?
We have served over 300 clients in the
That's wonderful.
25 years that Pathways
Yeah.
has been around.
Very good.
And as I mentioned, it's about 50 active clients at a time.
Well, congratulations to both of you. It's a
Thank you.
wonderful thing to do. Thank you very much for being so involved and so successful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you very much for watching.